What's up, MS Gymmers? How you guys doing? Welcome to Motivation Monday. So we are continuing today on our series on MS mind games, and today we are talking about frustration. So it's something that, as a human being, I've had experience with. I'm sure all of you have had experience with frustration because it's a very real emotion, and it's a very common and basically unescapable part of being a human being and living on this planet. Because being frustrated is really happens when you're expecting one thing to happen and then those expectations aren't met. So anytime you have expectations and you set those expectations, or you set a dream, or you set a goal, or you have something in your head that you think is going to happen, that you plan on happening, that you expect to happen, and then it doesn't happen, oftentimes this can lead to massive frustration. So I want to share with you a little bit of experience that I had this weekend that really got me into thinking about frustration. And really that concept of you feel like you're doing a lot of things right, but then something hits you in the face and it's like, haha, no you're not. And it can just completely throw you off if you're not aware of it. So this weekend, we're in the process of getting life insurance. So I'm getting life insurance for my family because I have 3 little girls and I have Misty, and God forbid anything happen to me, but if anything does, I need them taken care of because I've been the sole breadwinner for like our whole marriage. And let's face it, like I'm the MS Gym as far as the content and the products and all that kind of stuff goes. So I need to make sure that if anything would happen to me, that my girls are taken care of. And my wife, which includes my girls, right? She's my girl. So we had a medical examiner come out to do a physical on us and all that kind of stuff. And, I always get a little bit nervous about that stuff. And I haven't been feeling good the past probably about 3 to 4 weeks. Like I've just been feeling kind of off. Like I've been having some heart palpitation stuff. And I've had them before when I've been stressed out and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know why I'm having these. I don't feel like I'm super stressed out and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't really pay attention to it. Then I got the test done, and my blood pressure was pretty high. And when I got that test back and my blood pressure was high, I was like, oh no. And it blindsided me because I wasn't expecting that. Like, I do almost everything right. The only thing I know that I don't manage as well as I could is stress, is my mind. Like I know my nutrition's on point, my exercise is on point, my lifestyle's on point, like pretty much except for this, right? I'm pretty dialed in. So I just kind of expected that I would go into this test and I'm like, yeah, it might be a little bit high, but like I wasn't expecting my blood pressure to be like hypertension, right? So it blindsided me. And what happened is because of that, it started me on a negative, like I got frustrated. Like I was like, what the hell do you mean I have high blood pressure? And then I started thinking, I'm like, God, what the heck, dude? I'm doing everything right. So what? I work a little bit too much, and I think about the MS Gym too much, and I'm a little bit stressed out because I want everybody to heal, and I'm taking care of a lot of people, but like that's what I'm called to do. So why is this affecting me? Why do I have to be sick? Why do I have a bad heart? Why this? Why that? Blah, 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 blah. So I started to get angry and frustrated and anxious, and it took me down a very negative place. It was just like this big, freaking whirlpool of negativity just pulling me down and down and down and down and down. And so I went into every worst case scenario all day Friday. So my mind started to go into, oh my God, like our insurance rates are going to be high. And over the next 30 years, it's going to cost me this much more money. And it's my fault. And I just cost our family a bunch of money. And holy crap, like my dad died. They suspect he died of heart failure. And I know he had high blood pressure, and what if I have that? What if I inherited that? Like my dad died young. What if I die young? And then like what if I die early? And then Misty doesn't have me, and then my girls don't have their daddy, and it's all my fault. And I'm not taking care of myself. And then it was like, well, then I leave the MS Gym. What are they supposed to do? And and it just started to go down this tailspin. So then I started to get anxious and worried. And then by the end of the day, after feeling frustration, feeling anger, feeling anxiety, I ended up being depressed to the point where it was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, I just need to go to bed. And so as I laid in bed, I could feel my heart pounding. And I was like, dude, this is not good. I'm like, am I going to be okay? And I'm praying. I'm like, God, just let me know I'm okay and this and that, whatever. And I went to bed, and it took me a while to fall asleep. And I took like I took like CBD oil, and then I drank some stress reliever tea, and I'm like, I just need to go to sleep. I'll be better in the morning. So then I woke up in the morning, and the very first thought was I put my hand on my chest subconsciously, and I'm like, is my heart still beating? And then I'm like, how hard is it beating? And then I close my eyes, and I'm like, can I hear my blood pressure? Because when it's high, I guess it rings in my ears. And I was like, dude, and then I started going through this whole negative thing again. And then all of a sudden, I had a voice inside me, because I was sitting there, I'm like, I do all the right stuff. Because here's the thing, you guys, like, I'm on point. I do the MS gym exercises and train my neurology. I eat super duper clean to manage celiac and manage Lyme and manage autoimmunity. Like, I barely have sugar. I barely have carbs. All I eat is freaking veggies and good fat, good oils, and lean meats, and I don't drink, and I've cut my caffeine down, and I don't smoke, and I don't party, and I don't sleep enough, but, you know, like, I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to get in the right mindset. I think I'm arranging my life correctly. I've gone after my dreams. I'm treating people right. I'm a good husband, a good father. I kept going down all this stuff, and I started to get frustrated again. I'm like, I'm doing everything right. Why isn't this working? Why am I sick? Why do I have something else? Why do I have another symptom? And then all of a sudden, I got this voice inside me that's like, okay, let's just take a sec. Like, are you doing everything right? What's the one thing in your life that you're not managing and that you've kind of allowed to take control of you, allowed to master you, allowed to enslave you? And it's my mind. My mind of productivity. Right? My mind of productivity. So I'll get back into what I found out and what the solution was in just a sec. But I have to ask you, does this sound familiar? Does it sound familiar that you think, or you see and you know that you're exercising daily? You're eating better. You're hydrating. You're writing down and you're trying to work on more of a positive mindset, a healing mindset, believing you can heal. Like you're following what we talk about here in that Motivation Mondays, and you go and you go and you go. And maybe you're getting results, and then all of a sudden, bam, you have a bad MS day. Or maybe you're kind of up and down. You have some good days, some bad days, some good days, some bad days. Right? Or maybe you're cruising and you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden you go to a medical or a neurology appointment all hyped up, ready, that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you, I got to show you how much better I'm doing. And like nothing, no reaction from your physician. Oh, that's nice, you're doing the MS gym thing. I really don't see it change. Or you go to a family reunion and you're all excited to show everybody and talk to everybody about the MS gym. And then they look at you and they're like, yeah, well, I guess it's better. Like, you know how astronomically better you feel, but they're like, yeah, you know, it looks better. It looks better. Well, bless your heart, you know. But do realize, like, you do have MS. Like, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. You realize it is progressive. You realize it is no cure. You realize that maybe you know, like, it's cool that you're exercising, but, you know, don't get your hopes up too high, right? Or then, like, you're cruising, you're doing your thing, and you're all hyped up because you've been working for a couple months to go to a wedding, or to go to a date, or to go to a vacation, and all of a sudden your MS flares up. Either before you go, while you're there, or when you get home, and it's just like deflation. Because you work so hard and you feel like everything's doing right, and then your MS gets you again. Your foot drop happens, your leg doesn't happen, you're like, what the hell, dude? I've been working out right. I've been moving right. My leg's been better. My foot's been better. And now before this trip, now during this family event, now afterwards, I'm wrecked. Like frustration. I've been doing everything right, but yet it comes back. I feel like I'm doing everything right, but yet I'm not seeing that many results. I feel like I'm doing everything right, but all this external validation I'm seeking, I'm not getting the opinions and the feedback that I expect. And that all of a sudden causes frustration. And it can take you down one of three paths. It can make you angry, and you're basically saying, why isn't this working? What the hell? Why am I even trying so hard? Why does this have to be so hard? You can go to anxiety and worry. Well, what if this isn't working? What if MS is getting me? What if MS wins? What if I'm progressing faster than I think I am? Or you go to depression. Well, I guess nothing works. Like, why am I even trying? Like, I thought I was doing well, but I guess it's not happening. So for me, frustration, you guys, are triggers. Frustration are threat triggers. Frustration are the warning lights that come on in your car like, wonk, wonk, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And you have an option and a choice of what to do when frustration happens. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because you guys, we're living life. Like, there's already so much stuff to be frustrated about in life. Like, you're going to set expectations that are not going to happen. You're going to expect someone to do something, they're not going to do it. You're going to expect someone to be something or do something or be something for you at some point, and they're going to fail. You're going to expect someone to show up, and they're not. You're going to expect that you're going to get up tomorrow, and you're going to walk right, and you're not, or whatever else. And then you tack on the stressors of MS, right? So then you got the physical constraints, the emotional constraints, the physiological constraints, and all that kind of stuff, and you get frustrated because of the fact that not only are you living a life on this planet, but then you have this extra added burden on top of you. I mean, it's almost a guarantee that at some point you're going to get into frustration mode, or you have at some point gotten frustrated and been like, why me? Why do I have MS? Why am I going through this? Why is this so dang hard that I'm trying so much just to lift one toe, wiggle one finger, have 1 hour where I don't need to go to the bathroom, have one thought that's not cloudy? Why is this so much work, and why did I get picked for this? So frustration is pretty much inevitable with MS at some point, because your threat buckets are already more full than most people's, because you already have threat buckets. Then you throw in chronic illness, and remember my illustration, it's like pouring a bucket into your threat bucket, so you guys are a little bit more delicate. People with autoimmune conditions are a little bit more delicate because we can't respond as fast to stress as someone with not an autoimmune condition, because our body's already thinking that we kind of have this attack going on, or we have this threat going on with like MS or autoimmunity with like Lyme or celiac or whatever, and then you get stressed out and you trip into stress, and it takes you longer to get out of stress than a normal person. So frustration is inevitable. So expect it. But know that with frustration, that's a trigger. That's a threat trigger. And then you've got to know, and you've got to recognize it, and you've got to do something about it. Otherwise, you could slip into anxiety, anger, or depression. So what do? So the first thing is to assess your frustration. Like, you're going to get frustrated, so know what it feels like. Next time you're frustrated, I want you to be like, I'm freaking frustrated. But the next question is, why are you frustrated? Like, what are you frustrated about? I don't even think what is enough. Because, yeah, I'm frustrated because I missed going to my son's basketball game because I literally can't lift my legs to walk through the gym. I'm frustrated over that. It sucks. Why do I have MS? Why am I missing this? Well, but then it's the why. Why are you frustrated? Are you frustrated because you're missing out on his life, your son's life? Are you frustrated because you feel like you let him down and let your husband down? Are you frustrated because you feel like you're letting him down? Are you frustrated because you feel like your son thinks that you're not worthy of being a good mom because you're not active? Are you worried that your husband's just like, God, I wish I could do something with her, but she's stuck at home again? Like, are you thinking that? Are you putting your expectations on what they're thinking and letting it take you out? Like, why are you frustrated? Why are you frustrated when your doctor's like, I guess you're kind of walking better, but we'll see. Why are you frustrated when you go to a family event and people are like, oh, well, realize that, you do have MS, right? You do have MS. Like, remember that. Like, I think you're doing great. I think you're doing great, right? Or somebody comments like, you're walking on your walking poles or whatever, and somebody sees you and you see them, and you get embarrassed and self-conscious, and then they look at you and they're like, you're going to be at the Boston Marathon soon, and then you get mad and you get frustrated and whatever else, and you got to ask yourself, like, why are you frustrated at that person? Like, are they really mocking you? Are they really making fun of you? Probably not. We'll talk about that in just a sec. So the thing is that you have to assess. You have to reflect. You have to really think about, like, why are your frustrations happening? Identify them, recognize them, and then you have a choice to make. Either you let those frustrations lead you into anxiety, anger, and depression, or you don't. And you do something different to manage those frustrations and get out of them. So for me, what I figured out is that I woke up in the morning, like I said, my hand was on my chest as my heart's still beating, right? And then how high is my blood pressure? And then I started on this negative tailspin of getting frustrated, like I do everything right. Why am I going through this? Why another symptom? I thought I had this down. This snuck attacked me. I didn't even think about blood pressure. I was doing everything else right. You know, going all down this. And then I had this voice be like, dude, are you actually, like, what are you missing? What am I missing? And then this voice is like, dude, it's your head. You have this expectation that if you're not constantly in productivity mode, you're not constantly delivering new content, new messages, new everything, new ideas, new everything to the MS Gym, that they're all going to leave. You're going to lose it. If you're constantly not providing for your family, then your wife's going to get disappointed and she may leave, or your kids are not going to have what they need, and then you're going to feel bad because your kids can't have clothes or go on a field trip or have Christmas, because we've been there. So I started to go down those negative crap, and I'm like, dude, the fear of not ending up in a situation where I'm sick, where I'm broke, where I'm grieving, where I'm angry, where I'm worrying, where I'm fearful, where I'm under attack. The fear of that keeps me doing this over and 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 over again, and I never stop. The problem with me is that I love you guys so much, but there is definitely a fine line between working because you care and working because you're trying to maintain control. And I'm a control freak. I've always been like this. I've scrapped for every dollar I've ever made. I've traded time for every dollar I've ever made. So in my mind, if I'm not working, I'm losing money. If I'm not working, I'm not providing for my family. If I'm not working, I'm not doing my job. If I'm not working, someone else is beating me. If I'm not working, I'm lazy. But now it's catching up. Now my body's like, dude, it's time to work on this. It's time to work on this. It's time to work on this. So every single time that my heart is skipping or my blood pressure's up, it's like, what are you doing right now that's causing this to happen? So I had to stop the negative tailspin. I had to stop the brain hijacking that was happening and be like, dude, you need to calm down and really think about what this is. So I assessed it, right? So even though I love you guys and I care for you guys and I want to keep going for you guys, I have to take care of me. I have to put on my oxygen mask first so I can give you yours. Because if I don't take care of me and I burn out and I crash and I get sick, you guys don't have anybody to lead you or help. My babies don't have anybody to be their daddy. My wife doesn't have a husband that she can love and do life with. So I had to really think hard about that. My heart was a warning signal. And I either had the option, I could continue down this negative pathway of what ifs, and why not, and I should be, or I can go down of what can I do to make this different? What can I do to do this better? So here's the thing, you guys, where I have the fear of letting you down, and I have the fear of letting my family down, and I have the fear of having it confirmed that the lie that I'm not good enough, that pushes me into a negative place, and so I've got to push back with a plan. So for you guys, going back to the position, the plan, and the people thing, positioning, position is you have stress over the position in your life. Why am I here? Why is this happening? Why is this so hard? But the fact of the matter is that you're basically in a grief mode. That frustration, that anger, that anxiety, that depression, that why am I here? I look at how much I've lost. Look at what I can't do. You're in a grief mode. So you've got to recognize that you are in that grief mode, and you've got to work through that grieving. You've got to let yourself and give yourself permission to grieve the loss of who you once were or who you thought you were going to be. To grieve the loss that your future may not be what you once thought it was going to turn out to be. But that doesn't mean that you can't redefine it. It doesn't mean that you can't redesign it. It doesn't mean that you can't create a new path and write a different story so that your future ends up maybe even more satisfying, more complete, and more fulfilling than it would have been without MS. So you've got to kind of take that perspective. Now the other thing is plan. Like if you're in a place where your plan's not working, I'm exercising, I'm eating, I'm hydrating, I'm doing Motivation Mondays, I'm watching everything you tell me to, but it's just not working. Well, I'm going to be real honest with you. I talked to the members corner on Saturday. Like most of you guys, the average in here of people, the duration that they've had MS is 10 years. 10 years. And if you have the expectation that you have had MS for 10 years and you've been in a wheelchair for 4 years, and you think that in 1 month you're going to stand up and walk again, you're not going to be able to manage those expectations. You're just not. Unless you go like crazy, committed, full-time effort and put everything you have into it, in 1 month, you're not going to race 4 years in a wheelchair. Like I've had people who have been in wheelchairs for 10 years, all of a sudden walk unassisted after 4 months. We have had that happen in here multiple times. I've had people who were once in a power chair after 10 months almost be completely free, playing with their kids again, running around, hiking, going on vacation. That's happened in here. But that's been MS 12 years or 15 years. And then in 4 months, they got that much better. So you look at the trade-off. 15 years of damage counteracted in 4 months. 10 years in a wheelchair, 10 months. 10 years in a wheelchair, counteracted in 4 months. So what are your expectations? If your expectations are to start the MS gym and do it for 4 to 6 weeks, and if you're not jumping up and down like this, then it doesn't work, then your expectations are off. You need to reestablish your expectations. For me, my expectations, I'm going to eat less salt. I'm going to take 5 to 10 minutes every hour to just calm myself down, walk around here, stretch, breathe, decompress, instead of just go all day. Those are manageable expectations for me. What can you do on a daily basis just to create a behavior or a habitual change in your mind or your body? That's how you create a better plan. So it's not worth getting frustrated of why doesn't this work? Well, take a look at what else you could be doing. I don't have all the answers for you. I can't lower every threat in your bucket, you guys. Maybe you need to make amends with someone. Maybe you need to let go of somebody who hurt you. Maybe you need to talk to your doctor and be like, dude, it hurts me when you tell me that I can't get better. Maybe you need to get a new doctor. Maybe you need to surround yourself with more positive people. Maybe you need to dump the bad boyfriend. Maybe you need to get into a better support group like the Members Corner. Maybe you need to sign up for the MS Gym membership because you're bouncing around the free group and YouTube trying to piece this all together, which is causing more stress on you, where you could just push play and say, let's go, T. Manage your expectations. And then the third thing is people. So I want you to manage your expectations of people. Because here's the thing, you guys, like you can get frustrated all day long with your medical providers, your friends and your family, and just the general population. With your medical providers, you're expecting them to care about you like I do. Many of them don't. And that's unfortunate. And a lot of you have had bad experiences, but you don't know what's going on in their world. You don't know what the demands are behind the scenes. So the thing is that if you go in with expectations of, I'm going to see my neurologist today, they're going to run some tests, they may or may not be impressed, but I know what I've been doing. I know I feel better. So no matter what they say, I know I'm walking better than I was 2 months ago. I know my upper body is stronger. I know I have less bladder dysfunction. I know that I'm doing the right thing. So if you lower those expectations of your doctor to be like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing? Let's write this down. You need to be a research study. You're a medical miracle. It's probably not going to happen. They don't even have time to get into that conversation with you because insurance demands that they have like 8 minutes with you. Same thing with your physical therapist. And trainers don't have the information. And the thing is, most medical providers don't have the information that we talk about in the MS Gym. So you can't fault them for not knowing what they don't know. The second thing is friends and family. Dude, they don't know. They have no idea what you go through on a daily basis unless they live with you. Like I told you guys, Misty and I literally had to exaggerate how bad we were to just get to people to wake up and be like, wow, Trevor really might be sick and I really should take this gluten thing seriously. Maybe I should look at labels. Maybe I should prepare food a different way. Maybe I shouldn't give him such a hard time for not having an alcoholic beverage, since that's how our whole family socializes, and not call me a pansy. Thanks, brother. Right? So sorry, there's a little bit of my bitterness, right? So there's the thing is that you have to lower your expectations of people. Because they don't know what you go through. They don't know what you feel. They don't understand. And for you to think that they should understand just because you're you and you deserve to be heard, that's entitlement, man, and that's a dangerous thing. You can't be frustrated over that. That's why we have the Members Corner. That's why we created this support community, so that you were with people that understood you. And finally, the community, society at large. You guys, people don't know how to deal with people with disabilities. They don't know how to look and see someone on trekking poles and either not stare, not try to figure out what's going on, or not make maybe some weird socially awkward comment. We don't teach children how to accept and welcome and love disabled kids. So how do we grow up as adults and know how to help disabled adults? Because they're broken. They have weird legs. They walk funny. They talk funny. They're on wheelchairs. They're on walkers. Their legs don't work right. They walk like this and they're scooting around. And either we are conformed and groomed to either have pity on them, ignore them, make fun of them, or give some weird comment that's supposed to be supportive but that is not. So if you're on walking poles and you're really trying to walk and you're doing your thing and somebody comes up, like I said before, and is like, dude, you're almost at the Boston Marathon. You got this. Let's go. That person is not trying to mock you and be a jerk to you. They literally don't know what to say to you. But they see you and they see you trying and they see you walking and they're like, damn it, that person didn't give up. And they want to give you some kind of word of encouragement, but it just comes out wrong because they don't know what they don't know. So give them a break. Your family and friends and family don't know. Your medical providers don't know. We know in here. So if somebody gets on your case in here, you let me know and I'll take care of it. But for the most part, you guys, if you are looking for people to validate your existence, your progress, and how well you're going to do in your prognosis, saying whether you're getting better or not, you are way out of whack and you will be frustrated all the time around people. So here's the thing, you guys, is that we go back to what's the plan. The plan is stay calm, stay present, stay connected. You cannot freak out. That's why I said stop, breathe, recognize that you are frustrated, ask yourself why you're frustrated, then assess what you're going to do about it, what resources that you have, what can I do today? That helps you stay present. What can I do right now, today, to help myself so that I start moving in the direction that I want to go and I start moving away from the direction I don't want to go? That's being present. Moving is one of the best things you can do to stay present because it physically lowers your threat. It physiologically lowers your threat and it gives you control back of your body. And if you're having a bad foot drop day, damn it, get up there and do upper body, neck, hands, upper body stuff, whatever. Or work your strong leg. Leave that leg alone, because if you just focus on the bad leg and that's all you're focusing on, and that is your measure of success for the day, whether you picked up your leg or not, you are going to constantly be disappointed and frustrated. Because if you get the other 90% of your body stronger, your threat levels go way down because your body's better. Then your brain's like, oh, the rest of my body's moving better, so now let's focus on the freaking foot. Stay present, move, and find releases. Fill yourself with good messages. Fill yourself with good music. Fill yourself with good posts. Fill yourself with good YouTube videos or movies or clips or memes or whatever the heck it is. Fill yourself with good stuff, good relationships. Get in the MOC. Talk to people. Laugh with people. Serve people. Help people. Get those relationships coming in, because if you design a world around you that only feeds you, or I guess feeds you 90% of the time good stuff, your threat will go down and you will heal. But if you're like, I don't know about the members corner, I don't know about the membership, I don't really want to do that, I'm going to do things my own way. Well, how's that working out for you? How's your own way working out for you? Because you ain't getting better, you're just miserable, you're pissed off at everybody, and you're disappointed in your life. Sorry, but I had to go there. Do the things that you know are working and that you see are working for thousands of other people just like you. And then the third thing is stay connected. You have got to stay connected, number one, to yourself. Do not lose yourself to MS. Because MS doesn't stop. MS doesn't sleep. MS doesn't relent. MS doesn't take a break. MS doesn't get afraid and be like, oh no, he's doing friggin' movement camp too, I better stop. No, MS relentlessly approves you. Approves you. No, it approves you to destroy you. MS constantly pursues you. So if you are doing something to help yourself and you let all these frustrations, anxiety, anger, depression pull you around and tug at you and distract you from what you're supposed to be doing, and fear overrides your life, you will never lower your threat bucket enough to heal. So you've got to stay connected to yourself. You've got to stay connected to your vision, your why, and why the heck you want to get better. What's in your future? What does that look like for you? What are you fighting for? What do you want back in your life? Like, what are your goals? And then the last thing is stay connected to the people that understand you. Stay connected to the people that get you. Stay connected to the people that you literally just have to show up and you're like, I'm here. And they're like, oh my God, I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in here for a couple days. Don't try and seek approval from people that just don't understand, because you can't expect them to understand. But you can expect us here in the MS Gym to understand, and that's why we're doing this. That's why I do these Motivation Mondays. That's why Misty does Misty Moments. That's why we have the Members Corner. That's why we created this place, to provide you with a safe home where you feel accepted, understood, educated, empowered, and loved, so that you can go out and you can restore and transform your life back to the way that it once was. So I understand that frustration is part of this game. I understand that frustration is part of this narrative, both in life and definitely in the MS life. It's almost a guarantee. So frustration will happen, you guys. The best way to counteract it and combat it is to know it's going to happen, be able to stop when it happens, realize that you're on the edge. You could either go down this dark valley, or you could go over here to this lit up plateau, and you got to make a choice. And then you got to know that you have the resources, the people, and the plan to get out of it. And then the last thing is like, just manage your expectations well. Don't set yourself up for failure, setting your expectations so high and then forcing your brain to get from here to there. And you're like, you better do this, brain, otherwise you suck. Because your brain's in control and will override you every time. So I'm sorry to say that, but your brain is going to physiologically get better and improve at the rate at which it wants to go. Your body, when you eat food, is only going to tolerate and decrease that inflammation at the rate that it wants to go. So there are some things in your body you cannot control. It's called your autonomic nervous system. But the one thing that you can control is your mind. The one thing you can control is things are going to happen in life, and you are going to make a choice whether you react to it or you respond to it. Are you going to react to it, or are you going to respond to it, right? Are you going to react and recoil and erode, or are you going to respond, take action, and be like, nah, not today, man. I know I'm frustrated over this, but I'm going to go work on my movement stuff. I'm going to go listen to this Motivation Monday. I'm going to go listen to this message. I'm going to go read this book. I'm going to go have myself some tea and some cucumbers and feel good about myself, right? No cookies and vodka over here. Right? So anyway, so if you are aware, it's all about awareness. It's all about self-awareness. It's all about knowing that you're going to downslide. You're going to stop. You're going to do an about face, and you're going to take a different direction than you're used to, which is going down the negative sphere that you've been going down by no fault of your own and by fault of your own for this MS life that you've had before the MS Gym. So I hope this helps you guys out. I hope that this really gives you some tools that you can use to fight out frustration, to recognize frustration, respond to frustration, and then reject that frustration and get out of it so that you can start responding and doing better and get back into your game. So I love you guys. Thanks for being patient with me today. I know it was a little bit later, but I had a huge project I had to work on earlier today, and I'm ready to go. So I love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Leave some comments. Let me know. I want you to tell me what is your number one frustration and why. Why does it frustrate you? I'm frustrated that this is happening, and here's why. That's what I want you to put in the comments. I'm frustrated that blank, and here's why. Blank. Fill that in. I want to know. All right? So I love you guys. Talk to you later. Have a good day.